First contact. Dr. Samantha Chen squinted through the electron microscope, her breath catching as she observed the alien cellular structure. After months of painstaking research on the samples retrieved from the Europan ice, she was on the verge of a breakthrough. The cells before her defied conventional biology, their internal structures a maze of unfamiliar organelles and crystalline formations. "Holy shit," she whispered, lifting her head from the eyepiece. Her lab partner, Dr. Rajesh Patel, looked up from his datapad. "What is it, Sam?" he asked, curiosity piqued by her uncharacteristic outburst. Samantha gestured him over, excitement evident in her trembling hands. "Raj, you need to see this. I think we've just redefined life as we know it." As Rajesh peered into the microscope, Samantha paced the sterile lab, her mind racing. The implications of this discovery were staggering. Not only had they confirmed the existence of extraterrestrial life, but they'd found a form so alien it challenged the very foundations of terrestrial biology. "This is impossible," Rajesh muttered, adjusting the focus. "These cellular structures, they're nothing like anything we've ever seen. How are they even maintaining homeostasis?" Samantha grinned, her earlier shock giving way to scientific fervor. "That's the beauty of it, Raj. They're not, at least not in any way we understand. Look at those crystalline structures. I think they're using some form of quantum entanglement to regulate their internal processes." As the two scientists excitedly discussed their findings, neither noticed the subtle vibration that began to emanate from the sample. It started as a barely perceptible hum, but gradually increased in intensity until it caught their attention. "Sam, is that coming from?" Before Rajesh could finish his sentence, a blinding flash erupted from the microscope stage. Both scientists stumbled back, shielding their eyes. When the light faded, they found themselves face to face with something that defied explanation. Hovering above the microscope was a shimmering, translucent being. Its form was fluid, constantly shifting between various geometric shapes. Pulsating with an inner light, it seemed to be composed of the very cellular structures they had been studying moments ago. Samantha and Rajesh stood frozen, their minds struggling to process the impossible sight before them. The being's surface rippled, and a melodic series of tones filled the air. It took a moment for the scientists to realize it was attempting to communicate. "Hello," Samantha ventured, her voice barely above a whisper. The beam pulsed brightly in response, its tones shifting to a higher pitch. Suddenly, Samantha felt a presence in her mind, alien yet non-threatening. "Greetings, carbon-based life forms," a voice echoed in her thoughts. "We are the Hindri. Your probing has awakened us from our dormant state." Rajesh, who seemed to be experiencing the same telepathic communication, found his voice. You were in the ice samples. But how? Why?" The Kindri's form shimmered, its colors shifting to cooler hues. "We are explorers, seekers of knowledge. Our kind spread throughout the cosmos, seeding ourselves on promising worlds. We await discovery by sentient species, hoping to exchange knowledge and foster understanding between different forms of life." Samantha's scientific mind was in overdrive. "But your biology, it's unlike anything we've ever encountered. How do you function? What's your energy source?" The alien being pulsed with what seemed like amusement. "Your curiosity is admirable, yet your understanding is limited by your own biological framework. We exist in a state that transcends your concept of life and death, drawing energy from the quantum fabric of the universe itself." As the initial shock wore off, Samantha and Rajesh bombarded the Kindri with questions. The alien entity seemed equally fascinated by human biology, expressing particular interest in the complexity of the human brain and the concept of emotions. Hours passed in a blur of scientific exchange. The Kindri shared insights into quantum biology that would revolutionize human understanding of life, while the scientists explained the intricacies of Earth's diverse ecosystems and the evolutionary journey of humanity. As dawn broke, painting the lab windows with soft light, Samantha realized the magnitude of what had transpired. "We need to inform the authorities," she said, turning to Rajesh. "This changes everything." The Kindry pulsed with a warm glow. "We anticipated this moment. Our awakening on your world marks the beginning of a new era for both our species. However, we must proceed with caution. Not all among your kind may be ready for our existence." Rajesh nodded solemnly. "You're right. If this isn't handled carefully, it could cause panic. We need a plan." Over the next few hours, the scientists and the Kindry devised a strategy for gradual disclosure. They would start by publishing their findings on the cellular structures, hinting at the possibility of alien life without revealing the full truth. Meanwhile, they would quietly reach out to select government officials and scientific leaders to prepare for eventual contact. As they finalized their plans, a commotion outside the lab caught their attention. Through the window, they could see a fleet of black vehicles pulling up, men in suits pouring out. "Looks like we're not the only ones who noticed something unusual," Samantha said, her heart racing. The Kindry's form flickered. "Do not fear. This encounter was inevitable. We will face this challenge together." As footsteps echoed down the hallway, Samantha and Rajesh exchanged determined looks. Whatever came next, they knew they were standing at the threshold of a new chapter in human history. The lab door burst open, revealing a team of stern-faced government agents led by a tall, imposing woman in a crisp black suit. "Dr. Chen, Dr. Patel," she addressed them sharply, her eyes widening as they fell upon the shimmering form of the Kindry. "I'm Director Sarah Hawthorne, United Earth Defense. You're going to need to come with us." Samantha stepped forward, placing herself between the agents and the alien being. "Director Hawthorne, I understand this looks alarming, but I assure you, the Kindry means us no harm. This is a peaceful first contact scenario." Hawthorne's expression remained impassive, but her voice softened slightly. "Dr. Chen, I appreciate your assessment, but this situation is now a matter of global security. We need to contain and control this interaction." The Kindry pulsed, its melodic tones filling the room. "We understand your caution, defenders of Earth. We come in peace and seek only to share knowledge. Perhaps a demonstration of our intentions would ease your concerns." Before anyone could respond, the air in the lab shimmered. Suddenly, holographic projections filled the space, displaying breathtaking vistas of alien worlds, advanced technologies beyond human comprehension, and scenes of peaceful cooperation between the Kindry and other alien species. Director Hawthorne and her team stood transfixed, their weapons lowered as they absorbed the incredible images. Samantha noticed a shift in the atmosphere, from tense confrontation to awestruck wonder. "Director," Rajesh spoke up, seizing the moment. "The Kindry have already shared groundbreaking insights into quantum biology. This could revolutionize medicine, energy production, even our understanding of consciousness itself. We have an unprecedented opportunity here." Hawthorne seemed to wrestle with her thoughts for a moment before nodding slowly. "All right, doctors. You've made your point, but this doesn't change the fact that we need to control this situation carefully. The wrong word in the wrong ear could cause global panic." "We anticipated this concern," Samantha said, relief evident in her voice. "We've already devised a plan for gradual disclosure. Perhaps we could combine our strategies." Over the next few hours, scientists, government agents, and the alien Kindry engaged in intense discussions. They formulated a comprehensive plan for introducing the concept of alien life to the public, starting with the release of the cellular research and gradually progressing to full disclosure. As the meeting concluded, Director Hawthorne turned to the Kindry. "I must admit, when I woke up this morning, I didn't expect to be planning humanity's entry into the galactic community, but I'm glad it's happening this way, peacefully and full of potential." The Kindry pulsed with warm colors. "Your adaptability and openness to new ideas are commendable traits. We look forward to a long and fruitful relationship between our species." As the government team prepared to leave, Samantha and Rajesh found themselves alone with the Kundry once more. The alien being shimmered, its form becoming more defined. "You have taken the first steps on a grand journey," it communicated. "Your species will face many challenges as you join the wider universe, but we believe in your potential. Your unique biology, your resilience, and your insatiable curiosity will serve you well." Samantha smiled, her mind still reeling from the day's events. "I can't help but feel we're at the beginning of something incredible. There's so much to learn, so much to explore." The Kundry pulsed in agreement. "Indeed. And as you venture forth, remember this: it is often the things that make us different that prove to be our greatest strengths. Your human biology, as bizarre as it may seem to other species, has shaped you into beings capable of great innovation and adaptation. Embrace these qualities, for they will be your guide among the stars." As the first rays of a new dawn streamed through the lab windows, Samantha and Rajesh shared a look of determination. They stood on the brink of a new era for humanity, one filled with boundless possibilities and unimagined wonders. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they were ready to face them, armed with the unique strengths of human biology and the spirit of scientific curiosity that had brought them to this moment. The journey into the cosmic unknown had begun, and humanity was about to show the universe just how remarkable they could be. The biological conundrum. 6 months after the initial contact with the Kundry, the International Exobiology Research Center, IERC, bustled with activity. Scientists from across the globe worked tirelessly to unravel the mysteries of alien biology, with the Kundry serving as both subjects and collaborators. Dr. Samantha Chen stood before a holographic display, manipulating complex molecular structures with graceful hand gestures. Beside her, a Kundry representative named Zix pulsed with curiosity. "Your DNA-based life is fascinatingly inefficient," Zix communicated telepathically, its form shimmering with hues of blue and green. "Yet it has produced such diverse and adaptable beings." Samantha chuckled, used to the Kundry's blunt observations by now. "Inefficient, maybe, but it's gotten us this far. Besides, our inefficiency seems to be causing quite a stir among your kind." Indeed, the Kundry had been baffled by many aspects of human biology. The concept of sleep, the need for constant food intake, and the complexity of human emotions had become subjects of intense study. Dr. Rajesh Patil entered the lab, his eyes bright with excitement. "Sam, Zix, you need to see this. We've made a breakthrough in understanding Kundry energy absorption." They followed Rajesh to another section of the lab, where a team of physicists huddled around a containment field housing a small Kundry sample. "We've discovered that the Kundry don't just passively absorb energy from quantum fluctuations," Rajesh explained, pulling up a series of complex equations. "They actively manipulate the quantum field to create energy gradients. It's like they're farming the fabric of space-time itself." Zix pulsed with approval. "Your understanding grows quickly. This process is fundamental to our existence. It allows us to survive in environments that would be lethal to carbon-based life." As the scientists excitedly discussed the implications of this discovery, an alarm blared through the facility. Red lights flashed, and a computerized voice echoed through the corridors. "Biohazard alert. All personnel evacuate immediately." This is not a drill. Samantha's heart raced as she initiated emergency protocols. "Zix, stay close to us. We need to get to the safe room." As they hurried through the chaos of evacuating scientists, Rajesh's communicator buzzed. It was Director Hawthorne. "Patil, we have a situation. One of the Kundry samples has evolved. It's breached containment and is growing at an exponential rate. We need your team's expertise." They reached the safe room, a reinforced chamber designed to withstand various catastrophic scenarios. Inside, they found Director Hawthorne coordinating with a crisis team. "What exactly are we dealing with?" Samantha asked, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. Hawthorne pulled up a live feed from the contaminated lab. What they saw defied explanation. A writhing mass of crystalline structures had engulfed half the room, pulsating with an otherworldly energy. It seems the sample has tapped into an abundant energy source, Zix communicated, its form flickering with concern. Without the regulating influence of a full Kindry consciousness, it's growing uncontrollably. Rajesh studied the readings pouring in from the lab sensors. The energy output is off the charts. If this continues, it could destabilize the entire facility, maybe even beyond. Can we shut down its energy source? Hawthorne asked, her voice tense. Samantha shook her head. It's drawing power from quantum fluctuations. We can't just turn off the fabric of space-time. A tense silence fell over the room as the implications sank in. They were facing a threat beyond human understanding, with the potential to escalate into a global catastrophe. Suddenly, Zix pulsed brightly. Perhaps we have been approaching this from the wrong perspective. We've been trying to understand this phenomenon through the lens of Kindry biology, but the solution might lie in human biology. All eyes turned to the shimmering alien. Samantha leaned forward, intrigued. What do you mean, Zix? Your bodies are constantly fighting off invasive organisms, are they not? Your immune system adapts to new threats. Perhaps we can create a human-inspired defense against this runaway growth. Rajesh's eyes widened with realization. A biological firewall. We could engineer a barrier using principles from human immune responses, tailored to interact with Kindry cellular structures. The room buzzed with renewed energy as the scientists sprang into action. Samantha and Rajesh led a team in rapidly prototyping a biological agent based on human white blood cells, modified to recognize and neutralize the runaway Kindry growth. Hours passed in a blur of frantic research and development. The crystalline mass continued to grow, now filling entire sections of the facility. Pressure mounted as government officials demanded updates and contingency plans were drawn up for worst-case scenarios. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Samantha held up a vial of iridescent liquid. I think we've got it. A bioengineered agent that should recognize the Kindry cellular structure and encapsulate it, cutting off its energy supply. It's untested, Rajesh cautioned. We have no idea how it will interact with the evolved Kindry sample on a large scale. Director Hawthorne straightened her jacket, her face set with determination. We're out of options and nearly out of time. Deploy the agent. A tense silence fell over the safe room as they watched the feed from a drone, releasing the agent into the contaminated area. At first, nothing seemed to happen. The crystalline mass continued to pulse and grow. Then, gradually, they noticed a change. The outer edges of the growth began to lose their luster. The pulsing slowed, and sections began to crumble. It's working, Samantha exclaimed, her eyes fixed on the readings. The agent is neutralizing the runaway growth and cutting off its energy supply. Over the next few hours, they watched as the threat was gradually contained. Teams in hazmat suits moved in to clean up the neutralized material, storing it for further study. As the crisis subsided, an atmosphere of exhausted relief settled over the facility. Samantha, Rajesh, and Zix found themselves in a quiet corner, processing the events of the day. I must admit, Zix communicated, its form shimmering with a mix of colors that suggested awe and humility. We had not anticipated the potential dangers of our biology interacting with your environment. Your quick thinking and the remarkable adaptability of human biology have saved us from a grave threat. Samantha smiled wearily. That's the thing about human biology, Zix. We're messy, inefficient, and often unpredictable. But we're also incredibly resilient. We've evolved to survive in a world that's constantly trying to kill us. Rajesh nodded in agreement. Our bizarre biology, as you once put it, is the result of billions of years of adaptation and survival. It's not perfect, but it's versatile. Indeed, Zix pulsed thoughtfully. Perhaps there is much more we can learn from your species than we initially realized. Your biological quirks, which seemed like weaknesses, have proven to be sources of incredible strength and innovation. As they continue to discuss the implications of the day's events, Director Hawthorne approached, looking both exhausted and impressed. "Outstanding work, all of you," she said. "We've contained the immediate threat, but this incident raises some serious questions about the future of human-Hindri relations." Samantha straightened, sensing the weight of the moment. "What are you suggesting, Director?" Hawthorne's gaze swept over the trio. "I'm suggesting that we need to deepen our understanding of both human and Hindri biology, not just for scientific advancement, but for the security of both our species. We need a task force dedicated to exploring the intersection of our biologies, finding ways to safeguard against future incidents, and potentially unlocking new beneficial applications." Zix pulsed with enthusiasm. "A most logical proposal. Our differences, great as they may be, have proven to be our greatest strength when combined." "Exactly," Hawthorne nodded. "Dr. Chen, Dr. Patel, I want you to lead this task force. Work with Zix and the other Hindri representatives. Explore the full potential of our biological differences." As Hawthorne left to deal with the aftermath of the crisis, Samantha, Rajesh, and Zix shared a moment of silent understanding. They stood at the precipice of a new frontier in biology, one that transcended the boundaries of their respective species. "Well," Samantha said, a hint of her usual excitement returning to her voice, "I guess we've got our work cut out for us. Who's ready to rewrite the textbooks on biology?" Rajesh grinned, already mentally calculating the possibilities. "Think about it. If we can harness the Hindri's quantum energy manipulation and combine it with the adaptability of human biology, the potential applications are boundless," Zix finished, its form shimmering with what could only be described as excitement. "Medicine, energy production, space exploration. We could revolutionize countless fields." As they began to brainstorm, throwing out increasingly ambitious ideas, a sense of profound optimism filled the air. The crisis they had just averted, while dangerous, had opened their eyes to the true potential of their collaboration. Human biology, with all its apparent flaws and inefficiencies, had proven to be a wellspring of solutions. The very traits that the Hindri had initially found bizarre, sleep cycles, emotional responses, the constant need for sustenance, were now being seen in a new light. Each quirk of human physiology potentially held the key to groundbreaking discoveries. As the facilities slowly returned to normal operations around them, Samantha, Rajesh, and Zix stood united, representatives of two vastly different forms of life, finding common ground in the pursuit of knowledge. They faced an uncertain future, filled with both incredible possibilities and unknown dangers. But armed with the unique strengths of both human and Hindri biology, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The incident had taught them a valuable lesson. In the vast tapestry of cosmic life, diversity was not just beneficial, it was essential. The so-called flaws and inefficiencies of human biology were not weaknesses to be overcome, but unique adaptations that could complement the strengths of other species. As they delved into their new mission, one thing became clear: the future of both humanity and the Hindri would be shaped by their ability to understand, appreciate, and harness the bizarre wonder that was human biology. Cultural clash and cooperation. A year had passed since the containment crisis at the International Exobiology Research Center, IERC. The incident had sparked a new era of cooperation between humans and the Hindri, but it had also raised concerns among both species about the potential dangers of their collaboration. Dr. Samantha Chen stood before the United Nations General Assembly, her heart racing as she prepared to address the world's leaders. Beside her, Zix shimmered quietly, its presence a testament to the unprecedented nature of this gathering. "Distinguished delegates," Samantha began, her voice steady despite her nerves, "a year ago, we faced a crisis that could have ended in catastrophe. Instead, it became a catalyst for one of the most significant scientific endeavors in human history." She gestured to the holographic display behind her, which sprang to life with a dazzling array of images showcasing the achievements of the Human Kundry Biological Integration Task Force. By combining the quantum manipulation abilities of the Kundry with the adaptive resilience of human biology, we've made groundbreaking advancements in medicine, energy production, and space exploration. The display shifted to show a child walking with a prosthetic limb that seemed to move as naturally as a biological one. We've developed neural interfaces that allow for seamless integration of prosthetics, giving hope to millions. Another image appeared, showing a compact reactor glowing with an otherworldly light. Our clean energy production has increased tenfold, with zero emissions and minimal resource consumption. As Samantha continued her presentation, murmurs of amazement rippled through the assembly. The potential benefits of human-Kundry cooperation were clear, but so were the risks. The delegate from Russia stood, his face etched with concern. Dr. Chen, while these advancements are impressive, how can we be sure we're not opening ourselves up to more incidents like the one at IERC? Or worse, potential biological weapons? Before Samantha could respond, Zix pulsed forward, its melodic tones filling the chamber as it communicated telepathically with all present. Esteemed humans, we understand your concerns. They mirror debates within our own collective. But we believe that the potential for growth and understanding far outweighs the risks. The Kundry's form shifted, projecting images of distant worlds and advanced civilizations. In our travels across the cosmos, we have encountered many species. None have shown the unique combination of adaptability, creativity, and determination that we see in humanity. Zix's colors warmed as it continued. Your biology, which we once found bizarrely inefficient, has proven to be a wellspring of innovation. Your very inefficiencies drive you to find novel solutions, to push boundaries that other species accept as immutable. The assembly hall fell silent as the delegates absorbed Zix's words. Samantha stepped forward again, building on the Kundry statement. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, there are risks. But there are also safeguards. We've established rigorous protocols and ethical guidelines for all our research. More importantly, we've learned that our greatest security lies in the very differences between our species. She smiled, gesturing to Zix. The containment crisis was solved not by Kundry technology alone, nor by human ingenuity in isolation. It was the synthesis of our distinct biological approaches that saved us. Our differences are not just interesting quirks. They're the key to our mutual survival and growth. As the debate continued, with delegates raising questions and concerns, a commotion erupted at the back of the hall. A group of protesters had managed to breach security, carrying signs decrying the alien threat and demanding an end to human-Kundry cooperation. Security guards rushed to contain the situation, but not before one of the protesters launched a small device towards the podium. It clattered to a stop at Samantha's feet, emitting a high-pitched whine. Time seemed to slow. Samantha's mind raced, recognizing the device as a weaponized version of Kundry technology, a quantum flux disruptor that could tear apart molecular bonds in an instant. In that split second, human instinct and Kundry capability merged in a breathtaking display of cooperation. Samantha's body moved on pure adrenaline, diving to cover the device with her own body, hoping to contain the blast. Simultaneously, Zix's form expanded, enveloping both Samantha and the device in a shimmering quantum field. A flash of light and a thunderous crack filled the assembly hall. When the chaos subsided, the delegates looked on in awe. Where Samantha and Zix had been, there now stood a swirling vortex of energy, human and Kundry merged into a single pulsating entity. The being spoke, its voice a harmonious blend of Samantha's speech and Zix's melodic tones. We are unharmed. The threat has been neutralized. As the merged entity separated back into Samantha and Zix, a stunned silence fell over the assembly. The Russian delegate who had voiced concerns earlier stood slowly, his face a mixture of awe and realization. I think we've just witnessed the ultimate proof of what you've been trying to tell us. "Dr. Chen," he said, his voice shaky. "This level of symbiosis, of instant trust and cooperation in the face of danger, it's unprecedented." Samantha, still catching her breath, nodded. "What you've seen is the culmination of our research into human kindred integration. We call it the symbiotic defense protocol. It's a perfect melding of human neural plasticity and kindred quantum manipulation." Zix pulsed with calm assurance. "This incident, while unplanned, demonstrates the true potential of our collaboration. Together, we are capable of feats that neither of our species could achieve alone." As the shock of the moment wore off, a new energy filled the assembly hall. The delegates began to discuss the implications of what they'd witnessed, their earlier concerns giving way to cautious optimism. The Secretary General stepped to the podium, her face solemn but her eyes bright with possibility. "Dr. Chen, Zix, on behalf of the United Nations, I thank you for your bravery and your continued dedication to fostering understanding between our species. I believe I speak for all of us when I say that today's events have opened our eyes to the true potential of human-kindred cooperation." She turned to address the entire assembly. "Distinguished delegates, we stand at a crossroads. The path ahead is not without its dangers, but it is also filled with unimaginable possibilities. I propose we put to vote the establishment of a global initiative to further human-kindred integration, with appropriate safeguards and oversight." As the vote was called, Samantha and Zix shared a moment of quiet reflection. "I must admit," Zix communicated privately to Samantha, "when we first encountered humans, we did not anticipate this level of compatibility. Your species continues to surprise us." Samantha smiled, still feeling the lingering energy of their merged state. "That's the thing about human biology, Zix. We're full of surprises, even to ourselves. Our ability to adapt, to form symbiotic relationships, it's been key to our survival on Earth. Now it's proving just as vital among the stars." The vote concluded overwhelmingly in favor of the initiative. As the assembly broke into applause, Samantha felt a profound sense of hope. The road ahead would be challenging, fraught with both scientific hurdles and cultural clashes. But today had proven that the bizarre intricacies of human biology, combined with the quantum mastery of the kindred, could overcome even the most daunting obstacles. As they left the UN building, surrounded by a whirlwind of reporters and well-wishers, Samantha and Zix found themselves discussing the future. "You know," Samantha mused, "a few years ago, if someone had told me I'd be melding with an alien being to defuse a quantum bomb, I'd have thought they were crazy." Zix pulsed with amusement. "And if one of our kind had suggested we find such valuable allies in a species that requires regular periods of unconsciousness and constant material sustenance, they would have been met with skepticism." They shared a moment of laughter, or rather, Samantha laughed while Zix pulsed with colors that indicated mirth. It was a small moment, but it underscored how far they'd come in understanding each other. As they prepared to return to the IERC to continue their work, both human and kindred felt a renewed sense of purpose. The bizarre nature of human biology, once seen as a weakness by the kindred, had proven to be humanity's greatest strength in this new era of interstellar relations. The incident at the UN had shown the world the true potential of human-kindred cooperation. It wasn't just about scientific advancement or technological breakthroughs. It was about two fundamentally different forms of life finding common ground, leveraging their differences to create something greater than the sum of its parts. As news of the event spread across the globe, it sparked a new wave of interest in both human biology and kindred culture. Schools began incorporating xenobiology into their curricula, while art and literature explored the themes of symbiosis and transcendence. For Samantha, Zix, and their colleagues at the IERC, the work was just beginning. They faced the monumental task of unraveling the mysteries of human-kindred integration, pushing the boundaries of what was possible when two radically different biologies worked in harmony. As they stepped into the lab, ready to dive back into their research, Samantha felt a surge of excitement. The universe, it seemed, was full of wonders waiting to be discovered. And with the combined strengths of human ingenuity and Hindri wisdom, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The bizarre quirks of human biology, once a subject of amusement for the Hindri, had become the key to unlocking a future of unprecedented cooperation and discovery. As they stood on the brink of this new era, one thing was clear: the journey ahead would be anything but ordinary. The human factor. 5 years had passed since the dramatic events at the United Nations. The Human-Kindred Biological Integration Initiative had made remarkable strides, transforming various fields from medicine to space exploration. However, as humanity pushed further into the cosmos, they were about to face a challenge that would put their unique biology to the ultimate test. Dr. Samantha Chen stood on the bridge of the HFY Horizon, Earth's first faster-than-light capable starship. The vessel represented the pinnacle of human Kindri cooperation, combining the quantum manipulation capabilities of the Kindri with human engineering prowess. Final systems check complete, Dr. Chen, reported Lieutenant Commander Aisha Kazmi, the ship's chief engineer. We're ready for our first official FTL jump. Samantha nodded, trying to quell the butterflies in her stomach. Thank you, Aisha. Zix, how are our Kindri systems looking? Zix, now serving as the ship's quantum navigation officer, pulsed with steady blue hues. All quantum matrices are stable. The jump calculations have been triple-checked. We are prepared for transit. Captain Elena Rodriguez, a veteran astronaut chosen to lead this historic mission, stepped forward. Well, folks, this is it. We're about to go where no human has gone before. Dr. Chen, would you like to do the honors? Samantha took a deep breath, keenly aware of the weight of the moment. Initiating FTL jump in 3, 2, 1. Engage. The stars outside the viewscreen stretched into lines, then blurred into a swirling vortex of color. The ship vibrated slightly. Then everything went still. When the view cleared, they found themselves in an unfamiliar star system. Cheers erupted on the bridge. They had done it. The first human-crewed faster-than-light journey was a success. However, their celebration was short-lived. Alarms blared across the ship, and the lighting shifted to a red emergency hue. Captain, we're picking up a distress signal, called out Communications Officer Lu Wei. It's not like anything I've ever seen before. Captain Rodriguez frowned. Can you isolate it? Liu shook his head. It's not an electromagnetic transmission. I don't know how to describe it. Zix pulsed with agitation, its colors shifting rapidly. I can sense it. It's a quantum resonance pattern, similar to how my kind communicates across vast distances. But this is a cry of pain. Samantha felt a chill run down her spine. Can you locate the source? Zix's form shimmered as it interfaced with the ship's sensors. Yes, it's coming from the third planet in this system. The readings, they're incredible. The entire planet seems to be alive. Captain Rodriguez straightened her uniform. Well, crew, it looks like our shakedown cruise just turned into a rescue mission. Helm, set a course for the third planet. Dr. Chen, I want you and Zix to figure out what we're dealing with. As they approached the planet, the crew of the Horizon was struck speechless. The world before them pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, its entire surface a swirling tapestry of light and color. It's beautiful, Samantha whispered, then frowned as she studied the sensor readings. But something's wrong. These energy patterns are erratic, almost like it's sick, Zix finished. This entity, this living planet, is suffering from some kind of quantum disturbance. Captain Rodriguez leaned forward in her chair. Can we communicate with it? Zix pulsed thoughtfully. Perhaps, but it will require a direct interface. I can attempt to establish a quantum link, but I will need a human partner to stabilize the connection. All eyes turned to Samantha. She nodded, understanding the unspoken request. I'll do it. We've practiced the symbiotic defense protocol enough times. This should be similar, right? As the crew prepared for the unprecedented communication attempt, Samantha couldn't help but reflect on the bizarre turn of events. Here they were, on humanity's first FTL mission, about to attempt communication with a living planet using a hybrid human-kindred consciousness. Samantha and Zix positioned themselves in the specially designed integration chamber. As the quantum field enveloped them, Samantha felt the now familiar sensation of her consciousness expanding, merging with Zix's in a swirling vortex of thought and sensation. Their merged being reached out, extending tendrils of quantum awareness towards the planet. The contact, when it came, was overwhelming. Pain, confusion, fear, the emotions washed over them in waves, accompanied by fragmented images and sensations. The living planet, which they learned called itself Gaia, was under attack by microscopic invaders, a form of quantum parasite that fed on the planet's life energy. As they delved deeper into communication with Gaia, they discovered a tragic irony. The parasites had been accidentally introduced by well-meaning explorers from another advanced civilization. In trying to heal a minor imbalance in Gaia's ecosystem, they had inadvertently unleashed a plague that threatened to destroy the entire living world. The merged Samantha-Zix consciousness conveyed their understanding and their desire to help. Gaia's response was a mixture of hope and skepticism. Many had tried to help before, only to fail or make things worse. As they disengaged from the communication link, Samantha and Zix separated, both reeling from the intensity of the experience. "We have to help," Samantha said, her voice hoarse. "But how do we fight something that exists on a quantum level across an entire planet?" Zix pulsed with determination. "We must approach this problem as we have all others, by combining the strengths of both our species." The crew of the Horizon gathered for an emergency strategy session. Ideas were proposed and discarded in rapid succession. Traditional medical approaches were useless against quantum parasites. The Kindred's advanced manipulation techniques could affect small areas, but couldn't hope to cover an entire planet. As the discussion grew heated, Samantha found her mind wandering to an odd detail she had noticed during the merge. Despite the parasitic invasion, certain areas of Gaia seemed more resistant than others. These areas corresponded to regions with the highest biodiversity. Suddenly, it clicked. "That's it," Samantha exclaimed, interrupting the ongoing debate. All eyes turned to her. "We've been thinking about this all wrong. We don't need to directly attack the parasites. We need to boost Gaia's own immune system." She quickly explained her theory. Just as Earth's ecosystems were more resilient when they had higher biodiversity, Gaia's quantum ecosystem could potentially fight off the invasion if it were more diverse and robust. But how do we increase quantum biodiversity on a planetary scale? Captain Rodriguez asked. Zix pulsed with growing excitement as it grasped Samantha's idea. "We use the very thing that makes humans unique: your genetic diversity and adaptability." The plan that emerged was audacious. They would use the ship's quantum engines to broadcast a modified version of human DNA across the planet. This human genetic material, with its incredible diversity and adaptability, would serve as a template for Gaia to create its own quantum antibodies. "It's risky," Samantha admitted. "We have no idea how introducing human genetic patterns will affect Gaia in the long term. But right now, it's the only chance we've got." Captain Rodriguez nodded gravely. "The potential for unintended consequences is high, but we can't stand by and watch a living world die. Make it happen, Dr. Chen." The next few hours were a blur of frantic activity. Samantha, Zix, and the science team worked tirelessly to modify the ship's quantum engines. The engineering crew, led by Aisha, pushed the Horizon's systems to their limits to generate the enormous amount of energy required. Finally, everything was ready. The Horizon positioned itself in low orbit around Gaia, its modified engines humming with power. "This is it," Samantha said, her hand hovering over the activation switch. Initiating quantum DNA broadcast in 3, 2, 1. A brilliant beam of energy erupted from the ship, enveloping Gaia in a shimmering field. For long moments, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly, the chaotic patterns on the planet's surface began to change. New colors emerged, swirling and pulsing in complex patterns. The erratic energy fluctuations began to stabilize, replaced by a steady, healthy glow. "It's working," Aisha shouted, her eyes fixed on the sensor readings. "The parasitic infection is receding." As the crew watched in awe, Gaia's surface transformed. The sickly hues were replaced by vibrant, pulsating patterns that seemed to ripple with newfound strength. Samantha and Zix merged once more to communicate with Gaia. The response they received was overwhelming. A wave of gratitude and joy that brought tears to Samantha's eyes when they separated. "Gaia says thank you," Samantha reported, her voice choked with emotion. "The parasites are being neutralized. It will take time, but Gaia will recover." As the reality of their success sank in, the bridge erupted in cheers and congratulations. They had saved an entire living world on their very first mission. In the days that followed, as they monitored Gaia's recovery and prepared for the journey home, the crew of the Horizon had time to reflect on the implications of their actions. "You know," Samantha mused to Zix as they watched the now healthy planet from the observation deck, "when we started this journey, I never imagined we'd be using human DNA to save an alien world." Zix pulsed with warm colors. "It is a powerful reminder of why our collaboration is so valuable. The very aspects of human biology that once seemed inefficient or bizarre to us, your genetic diversity, your adaptability, have proven to be your greatest strengths." Samantha nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "I guess there's something to be said for being a little weird, huh?" As the Horizon prepared for its return journey, carrying data that would revolutionize multiple fields of study, Samantha felt a profound sense of optimism. The bizarre quirks of human biology, combined with the advanced capabilities of the Kindri, had opened up possibilities beyond anything they had imagined. They were no longer just explorers or scientists. They had become healers on a cosmic scale, their unique combination of traits allowing them to aid life forms they had never even imagined. As the ship engaged its FTL drive, leaving behind a grateful, recovering Gaia, Samantha knew that this was just the beginning. The universe was vast and full of wonders, and humanity, in all its beautiful, bizarre complexity, was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The journey home would be filled with excitement, speculation, and plans for the future. But for now, as the stars streaked by outside the view screen, the crew of the Horizon savored their victory, a testament to the incredible potential that lay in the fusion of human and Kindri capabilities. In the end, it was the very strangeness of human biology that had proven to be humanity's greatest gift to the cosmos. Evolution of understanding. 10 years had passed since the Horizon's groundbreaking mission to Gaia. The successful rescue of the living planet had ushered in a new era of human-Kindri cooperation and galactic exploration. Earth had become a hub of interstellar diplomacy, with representatives from dozens of alien species arriving to study the unique symbiosis between humans and the Kindri. Dr. Samantha Chen, now director of the Interstellar Biology Institute, stood at the podium in the grand auditorium of the newly constructed Cosmic Unity Center. The audience before her was a vibrant tapestry of life forms from across the galaxy, gathered for the first galactic conference on xenobiology. "Distinguished guests, colleagues, friends," Samantha began, her voice carrying the weight of experience and the excitement of ongoing discovery. "A decade ago, we embarked on a journey that would forever change our understanding of life in the universe. Today, we gather to share what we've learned and to face the challenges that lie ahead." She gestured to the holographic display behind her, which sprang to life with a dazzling array of images showcasing the diverse life forms they had encountered in their explorations. "Our journey has taught us that the universe is far more diverse and interconnected than we ever imagined. From the quantum symbiotes of the Andromeda Cluster to the plasma-based intelligences of the Crab Nebula, we've encountered life in forms we once thought impossible. The display shifted to show footage from various missions, including the now famous rescue of Gaia. But perhaps the most profound lesson has been about ourselves. The very traits that once seemed to be evolutionary quirks or inefficiencies have proven to be our greatest assets in navigating the complexities of cosmic life. Zix, now serving as the Kindry ambassador to Earth, pulsed forward to join Samantha at the podium. Its form had evolved over the years, now capable of more nuanced expressions that the assembled aliens could interpret. Indeed, Zix communicated, its thoughts resonating with the entire audience. The human propensity for dreaming, their need for sleep, which we once found so wasteful, has given them an unparalleled ability to process complex information and find innovative solutions. Their emotional range, initially bewildering to us, has allowed them to form deep, meaningful connections with species vastly different from themselves. Samantha nodded, a smile playing on her lips. And let's not forget about our digestive systems, which the Kindry initially found revolting. It turns out that our ability to break down and derive energy from a wide variety of organic compounds has made us uniquely suited for long-term space exploration. A ripple of amusement passed through the audience, each species reacting in their own way. From the chittering laughter of the insectoid Exarthal to the bioluminescent pulses of the aquatic luminary. As the presentation continued, Samantha and Zix outlined the major breakthroughs of the past decade. They spoke of the development of universal translators based on the neural plasticity of the human brain, of medical treatments that combined Kindry quantum manipulation with the human immune system's adaptability, and of diplomatic triumphs made possible by humanity's capacity for empathy and the Kindry's logical foresight. However, the mood grew somber as they addressed the challenges that lay ahead. While we've made incredible progress, Samantha continued, we face an existential threat that will require the combined efforts of all our species to overcome. The holographic display shifted to show a region of space where the stars seem to be going dark. We call it the void, a phenomenon that's consuming entire star systems, leaving behind nothing but empty, lifeless space. Our combined sciences have yet to fully understand its nature or origin. Zix pulsed with colors that conveyed deep concern. The void defies our current understanding of physics and biology. It's as if the very fabric of space-time is being unraveled. Our long-range projections suggest that if left unchecked, it could consume our entire galaxy within a millennium. A tense silence fell over the auditorium as the assembled beings grappled with the magnitude of the threat. It was broken by a thunderous voice from the back of the hall. Then why do we waste time with talk? Boomed Krotak, the warrior philosopher representative of the silicon-based Lithosians. If this void threatens us all, we should marshal our forces and attack it directly. Samantha raised a hand, her voice calm but firm. With respect, Ambassador Krotak, we've learned that brute force is rarely the answer when dealing with cosmic phenomena. The void has already swallowed fleets of ships sent to study it. We need a more nuanced approach. Dr. Chen is correct, came a melodious voice from the side. It belonged to Elora, the liquid crystal matriarch of the prismatic collective. But what hope do we have against a force that consumes entire star systems? Samantha and Zix exchanged a look, a decade of partnership allowing them to communicate volumes in an instant. Samantha took a deep breath, knowing that what she was about to propose would be controversial. We believe the key lies in the very thing that has driven our successes so far, the synergy between different forms of life. We propose the creation of a galactic symbiosis initiative. The auditorium erupted in a cacophony of voices, each species reacting to the proposal in their own way. Samantha raised her voice to be heard over the din. Please, hear us out. The void isn't just consuming matter and energy. It's unraveling the very connections that bind the universe together. We believe that by creating a galaxy-wide network of symbiotic relationships, we can strengthen those connections and push back against the void. Zix pulsed brightly, its form expanding to project a complex, multidimensional model. Our research suggests that consciousness itself plays a role in maintaining the stability of spacetime. By linking the diverse consciousnesses of our species, we might be able to create a barrier that the void cannot penetrate. As the implications of the proposal sank in, the reactions from the assembled aliens ranged from excitement to skepticism to outright fear. "You're proposing we merge our minds on a galactic scale." Krotak growled, his crystalline form vibrating with agitation. "How can we trust that this won't destroy our individual identities?" Elora's liquid crystal form shimmered thoughtfully. "And yet, is not the preservation of life itself worth the risk? We prismatics exist as a collective consciousness. Perhaps this is simply the next step in cosmic evolution." The debate raged on, with arguments for and against the proposal flying back and forth. Samantha and Zix stood firm, fielding questions and addressing concerns. As the discussion progressed, a sense of possibility began to take hold. Finally, Samantha raised her hands for silence. "I understand your concerns. What we're proposing is unprecedented and not without risk. But consider this. A decade ago, the idea of humans and kindred working together seemed impossible. Now, look at what we've accomplished." She gestured around the room, her eyes meeting those of each species representative. "Each of us brings something unique to this gathering. The silicon-based resilience of the Lithosians, the collective wisdom of the prismatic collective, the quantum insights of the Hindri, the adaptability and creativity of humanity. Imagine what we could achieve if we brought all of these strengths together." Zix pulsed in agreement. "We are not asking you to give up your identities. Rather, we're inviting you to expand them, to become part of something greater while still retaining your essential selves." A thoughtful silence fell over the auditorium. It was broken by an unexpected voice. That of Gilex, the usually silent representative of the enigmatic energy beings known as the Lumina. "We have observed your species for eons," Gilex communicated, its form a swirling vortex of light. "We have seen civilizations rise and fall, consumed by their own short-sightedness. But in you, we see something different, a capacity for growth, for transcending your limitations. Perhaps it is time for us to step out of the shadows and join this grand experiment." The endorsement from the ancient Lumina sent a ripple of excitement through the gathering. One by one, representatives stood to voice their support for the Galactic Symbiosis Initiative. As the conference drew to a close, with committees formed to begin the monumental task of implementing the initiative, Samantha found a quiet moment with Zix on a balcony overlooking the sprawling Cosmic Unity Center. "You know," Samantha mused, gazing up at the star-filled sky, "when we first met, I never imagined we'd end up here, proposing to link the consciousness of every sentient species in the galaxy. It sounds crazy." Zix pulsed with warm, amused colors. "Indeed. And yet, is it any crazier than a species that needs to spend a third of its life unconscious becoming a leader in interstellar diplomacy?" Samantha laughed, shaking her head. "I suppose not. It's funny, isn't it? All those things about human biology that seem so bizarre. Our dreams, our emotions, our messy, inefficient bodies. They've turned out to be our greatest strengths out here among the stars." A powerful reminder, Zix communicated, that in the vastness of the cosmos, diversity is not just beneficial, it is essential. The uniqueness of each species, the very traits that may seem strange or inefficient, could hold the key to our collective survival. As they stood there, human and kindred, gazing out at the future they were helping to shape, Samantha felt a profound sense of hope. The road ahead would be challenging, filled with obstacles they couldn't yet imagine. But they would face those challenges together, not just as humans and kindred, but as part of a grand galactic community. The bizarre quirks of human biology, once a source of amusement or confusion for other species, had become a cornerstone of their role in the cosmic order. Humanity's capacity for adaptation, their ability to form deep bonds, their creative problem-solving, all of it would be crucial in the face of the void's threat. As the first stars began to fade with the approaching dawn, Samantha and Zix turned to head back inside, ready to begin the monumental task of implementing the Galactic Symbiosis Initiative. They knew that the journey ahead would be unlike anything they had faced before, but they were ready for it. For in the end, it was not despite their differences, but because of them that the diverse species of the galaxy stood a chance against the encroaching darkness. And at the heart of it all was the beautiful, bizarre, endlessly surprising nature of human biology, a testament to the incredible potential that lay hidden within the quirks and inefficiencies of evolution. As they stepped back into the bustling conference hall, filled with beings from across the cosmos, Samantha couldn't help but smile. In all the vast, weird wonder of the universe, humanity had found not just a place, but a purpose. And together with their new allies, they were ready to face whatever the future might hold.